Despite being one of the more popular Piston Cup racers and being one of the 4 Piston Cup racers in cars to actually have formulated a sentence in the movie alongside the King, Chick Hicks, and McQueen, it is so strikingly odd that Mattel never has done any teammates for Dale Earnhardt Jr. No Pitties, no crew chief, no hauler. Thankfully, we have customizers for stuff like that. They've only ever released Dale himself, and these are the only 2 versions they actually have done. This is another custom here, so half of this team, more than that, is custom based. And so thankfully I've been able to acquire all these pieces and have enough to actually make a decently substantial team video on it. But yeah, guys, welcome back to Piston Cup Teams. I don't know what episode number this is. I'll have to check when I am uploading the video, but I'm so excited to get back to this series. It really is one of the better series on my channel because people love the Piston Cup, and I have a lot of customs of those team members that I really want to show you guys because I haven't been able to, because they don't tend to get their own reviews unless they're really, really cool. And so yeah, like this guy here is one of my favorite factory customs, and there's no spot for a video for him, just solo dolo, so he fits perfectly in this team video. And I hope you guys are ready for the series to return. This will be the first episode back, and hopefully I can get out a bunch more during this fall and then into the winter and spring of 2022. And I will hopefully also get your feedback in the comments on which teams you'd like me to review next. I will leave the link to all the other videos I've done in this series. I've done Team N2 Cola, Shiny Wax, Easy Out, Clutch Aid, and I think No Stall. So all those links will be in the video via either the description or card suggestion. So definitely check that out. So let's get into the review here. I'm very excited to get to the customs here. But first we gotta make our way through basically the Spider-Man No Way Home of it all. As in, this is, basically 3 of the same guy here, but they all are slightly different. This is so much like Spider-Man No Way Home, You got Tom Holland's Spider-Man, you have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and you have Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. All 3 from different realities. Some people would get that reference, other people not so much, but if you're not a Marvel fan, that's okay. You should be, so Google it and you'll actually appreciate the joke. It really is actually so applicable to this. But yeah, basically we have the original release that came out first in 2008, and he was then consecutively released in 2009. And that was it for him, actually. He might have been released in 2007 as well. So he had a couple of releases in those early years. And then in 2010, he received a rubber tire release, but the rubber tire release was using this model of him, which is basically the Nitroid body style, which is entirely inaccurate to the movie because he is actually this model, which is a unique model in which no other character or diecast use in the Mattel Cars diecast universe. This is an entirely unique model, which is rare. Not often do cars get their own model and are able to say that they're the only one, unless they're a super main character, and he really is not. He's a great cameo, obviously, and again, that's another reason why I'm so shocked Mattel never did anything more of him. But that leads me into, it really dovetails with what I was talking about, since he hasn't been released since 2010, and there have been obviously no team members. In 2009, 2010 is when they started to get in the team members. People speculate that's because of Dale's stepmom. That's what I always hear. I am not a big NASCAR guy. I really don't know what's going on in that realm. I am not going to pretend to know, so I'll let you guys fill me in. But from what I've heard, Dale's stepmom owns the rights to his merchandise, the leasing and all that stuff, the licensing rather. And she is super stingy. She doesn't want anybody to really make stuff of her stepson. So Mattel now, basically, by law, cannot make a Dale Earnhardt Jr. diecast anymore, and by association, they can't make a Dale Earnhardt Jr. Pitty or hauler or crew chief as well. So I think that's the reason why. I guess only time will tell, or maybe it won't. I think we'll only ever be able to assume, and that will come with a 15-year drought of Dale Earnhardt Jr. diecast. Maybe in 2025 we'll get him back in the main line because he would sell. He would fly off the shelves. I'm sure Mattel would release this guy if they could, as they release Mario Andretti a whole bunch, Daryl Carchip, all those other cameo type characters. But then you can kind of notice the ones that they don't release a lot, like Bubba Wheelhouse. He hasn't been re-released since 2017, so there's another kind of questionable one. The other ones, though, Chase Racler, Ryan Inside Laney, they're always out. So it's kind of like a give or take situation with these cameo type characters. Now, the other interesting thing to note before we really dive in here is that this one that you're looking at right here is actually from the Motor Speedway of the South. As you can see, he has plastic tires and has like Dale's signature. Well, I guess all of these are, no, yeah, this one has Dale's signature in like a white, basically, stamp, whereas the regular release just has it kind of engraved into the plastic there. So yeah, there's the code. This is the Motor Speedway of the South version. Plastic tires. The only other Dale that you'll see in this model will have rubber tires. That was a Kmart exclusive in 2010. What does that mean? That means that this guy is the exact same rarity as the Apple Mac iCar stock car from Cars. Yes, because they were both only released in the Motor Speedway the South 36 car set. Plastic tire Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the Nitroid body and the Mac iCar. Kind of a lot of variables going on here. You have like the tires and the model changing. So just keep in your head straight. There are 3 Dales that Mattel has ever released. These are 2 of them. The other one is this with rubber tires. They never made this one with rubber tires. And you could also kind of basically classify this as Happy Dale, Angry Dale. That's kind of how I do it. So we're going to start with Happy Dale because he was the original. I really do like his expression, by the way. It's pretty good. And there you have the Dale Earnhardt Inc. logo. Looking very cool, very intricate. Number 8, of course, he's got gray rims. Now, this is one of my most beat-up cars. I guess I liked him as a kid or something. He's got a chip there where the Lightyear is on the fender there, which actually, that's pretty cool. I like that. This car is just really well designed. And then he has a couple chips on the spoiler there. Lots of contingency sponsors. And then you have like the black kind of pinstripe that shoots all the way back here. Gas cap, Dale Earnhardt Inc. Dale Earnhardt Jr., his name there on the roof edges. Roof flaps, number 8. And then here is another logo. This one's for Junior, specifically that is a JR in a very stylized format. Dale Earnhardt Inc. Just a very nicely designed car. People have made attempts at like customizing a like Cars 3 stock car and a Cars 3 Next Gen sponsored by Dale Earnhardt Inc. But for some reason, I think there are like specific rules, quote unquote, by which Dale's paint job need to adhere to. Again, not a big NASCAR guy, don't know, but somebody made a custom and then a bunch of NASCAR guys like pounced on it being like, that is so unrealistic, like that color would never, like he would never utilize like white or something. I don't know. Basically, like all of his cars have to have like red as the main primary color. Maybe it was that. I'm not entirely sure. Somebody please let me know in the comment section below. Send me a massive paragraph explaining why Mattel will never release Dale again. And then another massive paragraph why his paint job, if theoretically translated onto like a next gen, should look a certain way. And I'll pin that comment. So anyway, here is the other one. Now, this guy seems to have crisper decals. Maybe it's because, you know, the paint is actually different. You know, the paint they used in the Motor Speedway of the South set is supposed to be a fancier paint. However, that fancier paint is subject to zinc pest, which basically is, it's not like a worm or anything. It's not like an actual pest. Don't worry. Just basically something that plagues the metal and kind of causes it to deteriorate over time as it's exposed to more oxygen. So this guy has the exact same decals, but instead of gray rims, he has black rims. Red window bars, though. So fortunately, I have 2 Motor Speedway of the South sets. Fortunately, one of my sets, which I keep like boxed up, like I only have the packaging itself, like the display. out, and then I put like just regular releases on top of it, so it looks, you know, good. And then I put the actual cars like locked away in like an airtight container. Those are all good except for Ryan Shields. For some reason, Ryan Shields just was so bad. The Zinc pest absolutely killed him. And then I have a second set in which maybe like 5 or 6 of the cars have gotten a little rough. I think Lee Revkins is one of them, but fortunately both of my Mac-I cars are in good condition as of now. I really, again, don't know how Zinc pest works. Like, I really wish like there was more studies done on it, more research, so I would know how to protect the cars better. Like, is it something that happens and then it's done with? Like, for example, because of the fact that like some of my cars haven't been affected by it, and they've, you know, been exposed to air and a good deal of oxygen, does that mean like they'll never really have an issue? Or, you know, as oxygen exposure increases, do these cars just, you know, gradually deteriorate? Some of them just maybe the paint is more sensitive to that, so they deteriorate at a faster rate. It's, you know, things like that that I wish I knew, because I have some of them on display, and even though they, you know, have the like acrylic top on it, oxygen still gets in there for sure. I mean, there obviously is oxygen in there. And so who knows, maybe 10 years from now, this exact same car will look like a ghost. Maybe all the paint will have fallen off. I hope not. That would make me really, 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 really sad. But it is what it is. I really can't do anything about it. I'm not going to keep him boxed up because there's no fun in that. This conversation provides me to make this video not for kids. I was talking about that. I don't know if I posted the video yet, but I literally had this discussion. I think, yeah, it was the monster truck video. I don't know when that video will be posted, but a video I did on like monster trucks, I play with them a little bit, and I'm like talking how like I'm playing with them, and I'm like, oh shoot, probably need to stop playing with them because, you know, otherwise I'm gonna get flagged by CAPA. This video is not for kids though, seriously. Anyway, here's the factory custom Dale. I don't know why the Chinese were like, hey, we're going to be different. We're going to put Dale's decals on an RPM model, you know, Woodford, Bradford, Rutherford. And we're going to, that's going to be our trademark Dale. Mattel has this one and this one. We're going to do this guy. And that's okay. Like, it's kind of a cool factory custom. It's kind of become rare now. But yeah, it does have the exact same decals, and it's pretty nicely done. The decals, you know, just as crisp. Gray rims still, although they aren't as strikingly gray. So you know what we need now is Dale in the leakless model. That would just look so wrong. You can get away with like these two because they kind of look, you know, similar to them. It's like these are like a hybrid of this, or this is a hybrid of these two, but you go to the leakless model and geez, you're in no man's land at that point. You can get away with these though. All right, moving on to the crew chief here, who really isn't because he doesn't have a headset. This guy's quite red. Like, he's a very vibrant, almost, it comes across orange on the camera, which really isn't true. He is definitely red, not orange at all. I don't know why the camera's making him look orange, but the color difference between the two are substantial. This guy's quite a bit darker than this one. But nonetheless, I'm super happy to have a version of a Dale crew chief. God, he looks so orange. Jeez in the morning. But anyway, you have the 8 there. Same exact 8 font. The logo. They use like the eyes basically from this guy. That's why, like, if you have like the leakless pickup truck, the Chinese factory custom, it'll have the eyes that match the Piston Cup stock car, but the mouth will always be this smile. And there you can see that little hole for where they probably used like a model that did have like a headset, and so that's why all these have like that little hole there for where the headset was supposed to be in the model. That's like the mold they continue to use, and they don't ever fix that. Anyway, it just says Disney Pixar China. No license plate, plastic, red bed, gray rims. Well, it's nice. Like, he looks good with the team, so I'm happy about that. And then last but definitely not least is the hauler here. Now this one, I don't know who actually did this guy because I got him from somebody who got him from the original customizer. I'm not going to like try and guess. I think I have a good idea of who did it, but if I'm wrong, it looks bad. So I'm just not going to say it. If you know who you are, you know, you did a great job on this guy. I like him a lot. Super happy to have gotten him, and I'm actually grateful. I want to thank you for sacrificing a no-stall hauler for me to be happy with this guy. The sacrificial no-stall hauler. Like a sacrificial lamb. And again, this guy is a much brighter red than the actual Dale. So he matches the crew chief though pretty well. So anyways, he has the Dale Earnhardt signature there on the roof. He has this little 8 logo with the black stripes behind it. It looks pretty good. This is actually a really nicely done custom. Decals look crisp. They look solid here. You have Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now his hauler was shown directly in the movie. I'll actually put a picture of that there. And I'll put a picture of Dale because I didn't do that earlier. So that's why we know how his hauler looks, and it's a very unique one that actually has basically a side view of Dale. I think that's pretty cool. Just have 8 there on the roof. And then here's the back. Pretty simplistic design, but nothing wrong with that. I like it. And there's the license plate, W0986 maybe? Something like that. Decals are peeling a little bit. That's the only problem with this custom. I'll just show you the inside of it briefly. You guys know how these haulers work though. You could slide this out, fold down the ramp, and you have yourself a cool little area. You could toss Dale in there. I love it. I absolutely adore this hauler. One of my favorite recent custom acquisitions. And that will be an end to this episode of Piston Cup Teams. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comment section below which version of Dale out of the 3 I showed you is your favorite. I have to go with the, just original smiley one because he's accurate to the movie. And the other ones are not. Pretty easy decision, but this guy looks super crisp, being from the Motor Speedway, the salsa and all that. But yeah, guys, thanks again. I'll see you soon for another video. Bye now.